everyone, today is going to be another art vlog or art talk because I'm having kind of a creative crisis. I wouldn't say that it's a creative block because it would be a bit excessive after just a couple of days, and I think creative block is about not having any ideas and feeling unable to draw or to paint or to do anything, and this is not what I'm experiencing right now. I can draw, I can paint, I can add stuff to my sketchbook, and I can still generate ideas as well as usual. But my problem, the thing that is bothering me and that has been depressing me for now the extremely long amount of time of 2 days, maybe 3, I don't know. I had a little bit of an insomnia, so it seems longer than it had been, but it's on my chest. The thing that's on my chest right now, and that made recording the last video extremely difficult for me because I couldn't think about anything else, is that I can have ideas, I can create images, but I don't have anything that I care about. And it's really bothering me. I don't know why, because it's not really something new. If you're new to this channel, I talk about art and creativity, and I'm mostly sharing my journey since spring, since I started to study art online at New Masters Academy. And I got back to art after a long interruption last winter. I think I got back to it in February, so it's not even a year. And since I got back to it, I don't think I've made anything really personal and anything that I really care about. My approach to making art and to learning right now isn't that I'm extremely inspired and I know exactly what I want to do. Not at all. It is that it's kind of, I have faith in, I had at least, because I'm kind of losing it right now. I had faith in the idea that at some point I will be inspired and that I will have something to express. So I'm getting in motion by drawing things, even if they don't really matter to me, and I am preparing for when this happens by improving my technical skills, by learning about art and by studying. But right now, I still don't know exactly what I want to do, and until 3 days ago, I didn't care too much about it. I'm going to take my coffee, so if you hear something, I'm just drinking while talking to you. I haven't prepared this video and I haven't prepared myself either, which is why it's just going to be a voiceover. I think I'm going to show you some images from the past days. Since I came back from my trip when I went to visit my family in Savoie, I have struggled a bit to get back to it. At the moment, I feel a bit stuck with my classes because the class that I'm doing, which is the only class I can do if I want to stay on the interactive track at New Masters Academy, isn't really... no, I wouldn't say it's not interesting me, but I don't enjoy it in itself. I get the value of it, I'm sure it will learn me a lot, because all classes are great and all classes have until now, but it's the first time that I really don't enjoy it, and I'm dreading it even. So I'm feeling stuck, and with these kinds of things, and with me, the longer I spend not studying and avoiding it, the hardest it is to get back to it. So I will get back to it definitely this month. I won't let it linger for too long, but right now and since I came back, I haven't yet. The only thing I've been doing is my lino cut prints. I will link the vlog that I did about it if you want to watch it. And well, it's been an experiment, it's been interesting, I had ideas, as you can see. The video is mainly about my thought process and how I've been trying to generate ideas for my Christmas cards, but it hasn't been very rewarding in the sense that I'm not happy about anything I did. And of course, one shouldn't be too focused on the result in art, and we should enjoy the process and embrace the journey and all of these. These are not empty words, it's all true, it's all good advice, but you know, I think sometimes you also need a win. You also need to feel good about yourself and to make some drawing or some piece of art that you're happy about every once in a while. I don't expect to enjoy everything I do. I mostly don't enjoy anything that I do, but it feels good when I feel good. Well, I think I'm not saying anything with this. So yeah, I struggled to get back to it since I came back, which is always the case when I take a break or when I go somewhere, because I need my routine and I have a strong need for structure and for things to be the same every day. And it's extremely hard for me to switch tasks or to get in motion, so yeah. That's why I'm getting in motion in advance in art and not waiting for inspiration, because inspiration for me can come at any point, but I will have a harder time making something with it if I am not already set up for it. It's about reducing friction if you're familiar with self-development and habits, and I think James Clear talks about it very well, about this concept of reducing friction to enhance your ability to get to do something that you want to do. It's about setting up your space, and for me part of it is obviously setting up my space, and I've made myself a nice studio that makes my art supplies easily accessible and that makes the act of creating art more enjoyable for me. It's important, and I will make a separate video about my art studio if you want to look at it, to watch it, sorry. You can subscribe. So, getting in motion, setting up my space, and having faith in the idea that inspiration will come at some point and that I will have something to say with my art that makes the act of creating worthwhile, because making art is difficult. It's not painful, it's not the worst thing in the world, but it requires a lot of time and a lot of effort. At least the kind of art that I want to make is kind of time and effort consuming. I don't know if effort consuming is a thing, but I think you get the idea here. And why would you do this if you don't have something to say, if you don't have a strong goal for doing it? For me, since I got back to art, as I said, I've been basically preparing and ignoring the fact that I am not inspired because of this faith, because I'm sure I will be at some point, but I don't know, I'm having a crisis right now where I haven't really lost faith. I still believe that at some point I will find inspiration and that I will have something to say. But I'm getting tired, you know. I can only keep going on sheer faith and self-discipline and so on for so long, and I'm just tired. I've been sharing mostly my art learning journey here, but this is not what I want my art and my channel to be about, ultimately, because for me, skill, pure technical, artistic drafting skill isn't my end goal. It is just a way for me to get to the bigger goal, which is to express myself in a way that is unique to me and that other people can relate to, and that would be a purpose and that would justify all of this work, all of this time, all of this investment that I started to do since long ago, and that I'm still doing today. In some regards, starting an art journey, I don't know if it starts at some point, but anyway, starting an art journey is a bit like starting a YouTube channel or any social media, but YouTube is the more relevant to my point here, in the sense that you have to give a lot before you get anything. And I don't mean getting something by earning money here, although it's a goal for a lot of content creators. It isn't mine with this channel, it's more to slowly create a community of like-minded people and having a place to share and to talk about things. But anyway, it's very similar in the sense that you invest a lot in any artistic path before you start getting any kind of reward. Whether it is financial reward, it can be one, but it's not my goal either with my art, or emotional reward by having people responding to what you're doing. First, responding yourself to what you're doing. I think it would be great to create a piece of art and to be happy about it and to feel like you have succeeded in expressing or capturing whatever you were trying to express or to capture. And second, to have people feeling it, to succeed in expressing that thing. This is the reward that I am hoping for someday, hopefully. And I started to record today because I wanted to share a quote with you that I find very relevant to my current existential creative crisis and very comforting for me and very inspiring too. And I think it's relevant to any kind of creative path, journey, process, whatever you want to call it. It's a quote I read a couple months ago. It's in the introduction of a novel by a German author, and I don't know the title of the novel in English. It's Le Loup des Steppes in French. A very, very interesting novel. I recommend it. It's very particular, but I highly recommend it. Anyway, in the introduction, there is a letter from the author to a friend or to I don't know who that is quoted, and in this letter, the author says something that I find extremely interesting and comforting and inspiring. He says that his job as a writer isn't to share something that is the best possible. It's not to create the best possible, the most technically advanced, the most perfect piece of art. But instead, his job is to create and share and give to the world something that is absolutely unique to him, to give something basically that only him can give, and to do so in the most possible, sincere, and in the purest way. And I like this idea. It's not that I like it, I think it's true. It is what matters for me too, and improving my skills and experimenting and trying new mediums is only a way for me to prepare my tools and to prepare myself to have the best possible chance to express what only I can express. And I don't want it to sound pretentious, I'm a bit anxious that it would, because everyone has something only them can express, and no one is more unique than anyone else. It's not a quantifiable thing, individuality. But yeah, it reminded me of this ultimate goal of mine with art, that is to express something that is uniquely mine, and I think it put back in perspective my art learning, that is just a tool and not a goal in itself. It is one of the quotes that I chose for my inspirations for 2024, and there is an ambulance passing by in my street. I'm sure you can hear it, but I hope it's not too disturbing. I don't... Okay, no, it's gone, and obviously I lost where I was, but yeah, it reminded me of my goal, and I don't know yet if it's going to get me out of the slump that I've been in, and this slightly depressing feeling, and this anxiety about the idea that the question to know whether I really have something to say, whether there is really a point in all of this effort, and whether I will ever care about any idea, any artwork that I do. Because now I don't, and I haven't really cared about anything I've done since I got back to art last spring. It's been assignments, it's been exploration, it's been trying to improve my skill, trying to get in motion, and I'm starting to repeat myself here. So I hope you got what I'm trying to express with this one. When I feel depressed like this, and I feel like I need a reset of some sorts, and it can happen with any kind of art pursuit, it can happen in writing, it can happen in knitting, it can happen in whatever my specific interest in is at the moment. When I need a reset, my first thing is always to clean up my creative space, and right now this is my small art studio. So I tidied up, I put away everything that I didn't want to see anymore, and I tried to look at all of my projects with fresh eyes to see whether my bad feelings were coming from one of the projects that maybe I should give up. There's nothing wrong, in my opinion, in giving up a project when it's not bringing anything anymore. And I considered giving up my gingerbread house project that I'm doing for a challenge on the New Masters Academy's Discord, and that I'm not very inspired to do. So I put it out and I looked at it, and it's a bit like Marie Kondo, you know, like, does it spark joy? And it doesn't really. I'm not sure about my idea for this one, but by putting it out and putting it on my table where I am ready to keep going on it, I realized that, well, I'm not inspired. I don't have anything better to do. Maybe I should get back to my classes, but as I said, I feel stuck, and I think I'm going to avoid it maybe this week again. So yeah, I don't have anything better to do, I don't have any other idea, and starting is always the most difficult for me. So I might as well keep going on this, and I started doing something that I did 10 years ago, when I had a very intense creative period, that is to draw as a way, it's going to be difficult for me to express this idea. To express myself in drawing, not by what I'm drawing, meaning the image that I'm producing isn't where I am expressing myself, where I am putting my feelings, but the act of making it is where I am getting my feelings out of me, basically. So yeah, I have this depressing feeling right now, and I am trying to go through it by painting patterns on this gingerbread house. I'm not sure it's going to be anything pretty in the end. I don't have a lot of hope for it, but I don't have anything better to do right now. So I might as well paint random patterns. That way I'm staying in motion, and maybe it will spark an idea in the end, because a lot of ideas in art, for me at least, and I think it works the same for a lot of people, come from previous artworks, from previous ideas, and you start a painting and you finish it and you realize you could have done this differently, or you could make a series out of it, and once your creative mind has started, it just keeps going. Yeah, I'm going to end it here. I just wanna thank you for listening to this if you're still here. I hope you're doing better than I am, that you find this inspiring, that you stay creative, and I will see you in the next one.